Welcome to Around Kitsap. This is Char Burnett, and we are in the Department of Community Development, Kitsap County's Department of Community Development, and we're actually in the project review pod. This is where plans are reviewed that will later get approved. And the county has undergone, Department of Community Development has undergone some changes in their department that are serving the citizens much better. To talk to us a little bit about that process and how it's working, to start us off today is Jeff Rowe. Jeff is the Deputy Director for the Department of Community Development, and he's invited us today to come into this really wonderful building with a fabulous view. So Jeff, welcome to the show, and let's get going on what you want to share with the community.
Well, thank you for this opportunity to tell you a little bit about the department and its recent efforts to improve our processes. Our department is responsible for reviewing land development projects, which can include zoning permits that allow a certain use of the land, development permits that shape the land to allow that use, and building permits that give a structure for that use to take place. And they can look like an addition to a hospital, a new retirement center, or the homes that we all live in.
So, you know, the community's growing, our community's growing, people want to build. So what kind of changes have you undertaken?
Well, our department has made many improvements in our methods over the years, but I'd like to take a little time and share our most recent efforts. Last year, we knew we needed to replace our existing permit tracking system. We took that as an opportunity to revise our applications, forms, and brochures. And while that might seem like that's a simple task, it took a great deal of work. After rough drafts were made of these, we met with our various stakeholder groups to make sure that what we did made sense, that were easy to use, and that it was clear what was needed in order to begin those reviews of the various types of permits. We went live with that new permit system in May of this year.
And what kind of improving documents and what other kind of changes have happened? Improvements, we'll call them.
Okay. In addition to the overall of those documents, we also work with our stakeholders to create a class of permits that could be issued with minimal review. These permits are projects like decks or minor tenant improvements or similar projects like that. This allows the department more time to work on bigger projects that require more attention on our part. It also allows the inspectors themselves more time once they get to the site to actually go over the project with the client and the owners of the project.
Jeff, what kind of support did you get from the top, meaning the county commissioners and enthusiasm to help you get this process completed?
Well, early this year, the Board of County Commissioners authorized the department to contract with Impact Washington, a company that specializes in helping organizations with process improvement. They use the lean process to teach organizations how to perform more efficiently. The lean process has its roots in manufacturing, but for many years has been applied to organizations or teaching organizations how they can conduct their business better. The results have been remarkable, and you'll see and hear from those folks who participated firsthand at that. I wanted to take a little time to thank the Board of County Commissioners for investing in the department, the Home Builders Association of Kitsap County for participating, and to especially thank all our folks here in the department for all their hard work. Their enthusiasm and energy is contagious. And as we move forward through the rest of the department with these improvements, they will be felt by everyone.
That's great, Jeff. So we're going to talk a little to some staff that have been actually involved in this and really get their input and their feelings as to how things are going at the front line, working directly with the public. So stay with us. We'll be right back. We're going to talk to some Department of Community Development staff. Stay with us. Welcome back to Around Kitsap. We're going to talk to some staff members now. First of all, I'd like to introduce you to Trish Bennon. Trish is a building plans examiner, and this is her little workspace in this pod. Trish, how long have you worked for the county?
I've been with the county for almost 10 years.
Have you worked exclusively in Department of Community Development?
I have, in different divisions.
Different divisions, but in this department. So Trish, what's your impressions of the improvements that have been made after the whole process review?
I think they're amazing. We went from processing a single-family home permit in 26 days down to 8. So
That's tremendous.
it's incredible.
That's like a third. That's a third.
Yeah.
Over a third. Over a third improvement. Absolutely great. So what is your role? What is your role as plans come back?
My role is the structural and non-structural review of the building plans. So I'm looking at all the building code requirements for those structures.
And so you would sign off and then somebody else looks at it and that kind of thing.
Right. Previously, how it kind of worked is I would get one piece of the puzzle, we call it. We get the permit package. And then land use would look at setbacks and is that use appropriate in that zone. Our environmental division would look at any, are you near a shoreline or wetland? And then our stormwater division would look and make sure that you didn't have to have any additional stormwater requirements. Before we were kind of housed in different floors, different areas, which is where this pod has kind of come in. We're all together right now, all of our reviewers, and it's really helped make the review process more consolidated. We've got everyone here, we feed off of each other, we answer questions, and it's really helped to make the review quicker and more complete.
So is it something that usually is how you start your day? You folks get together and first thing in the morning you kind of go like this pile here and everybody takes their turn?
Correct. What happens is these are all the permits that actually came in yesterday. So these were the permits that we worked on today. We kind of grab them, we look through them, see if there's any big concerns right off the bat. If we can approve the permits, our goal is to get them approved that day if possible. Typically it would take a couple days, but what we do is we get either a correction letter or an approval within 6 to 8 days.
That's fabulous. So what kind of feedback have you heard from citizens, clients, people that are going through the process?
I think they're shocked. It's really nice to call someone and let them know their permit's ready, especially when it's been in the department for less than a week, because they were planning on, it's so close to the end of summer, I'm not going to get my permit, and here it's approved right away. So they're very happy.
That is really, really great. So, Trish, what was your impression as to how the staff that actually didn't participate, because you didn't participate in the process improvement, how did staff that didn't participate, how did they get on board? How did they join in? How did they get in line and become part of it?
Well, I think we all recognized that the process needed to be changed, and we embraced it. We were hungry for change to happen.
Great.
Our goal really is to get people into their homes and to be a helpful part of that process, not that cog that slows everything down.
Good.
And it's fabulous to be part of a contributing part of the team and be, not the person they're waiting for all the time. So
that's awesome.
We're all excited about it.
Yeah. As we've been sitting here working on this piece and talking to different people, there's a lot of great energy here. Really great, really nice people. And all they want to do is get people into their homes.
Yep.
With the home builder, project developer, family that wants their home built, that's this department's goal. Trish, thanks for all you do for the county. You do a great job. You've been great to talk to today.
Well,
thanks a lot. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Joining me now is Lisa Lewis. Lisa is an environmental planner.
Yes,
And Lisa, how long have you worked for the county?
for 5 years.
For 5 years, but
Yes.
you had a previous life. Tell us your
Yes.
previous life.
I worked for 20 years with the U.S. Forest Service, and I retired in 1995.
What was your job with the Forest Service?
I was a district ranger and a soil scientist, and so from environmental planning to management,
Nice. Did you all over the country?
all over the country. I've worked in every state except, I think I've worked in every state.
Nice. So when you retired from the Forest Service, what brought you to the county? What was your dream?
I yearned to be back with the local community.
You wanted to live Kitsap and live here, work here?
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great. So Lisa was part of the process improvement plan program 1 solid week.
Yes.
Not being at your desk, totally devoting your 40, 35 hours a week to the process of whittle, make it. Tell us a little bit about that week. If
Well,
you can, just.
Well, we started out identifying the process, and the steps were mind-boggling, and we were identifying waste. We were also identifying what is important to the client, not necessarily what's important to us. And we whittled it down until we came up with, we originally doing 26-day permits and now down to 18.
Yeah.
But realistically, we're less than that now.
8 is
Yes.
what Trish just, 26 days to 8 days.
Yes.
The Department of Community Development in its heyday had 87 employees. Today they are at about 53. And these 53 employees work 0.75, 0.8,
0.85.
0.85 hours, which means they don't work on Friday.
Correct.
So the 54 employees do this fabulous work in 4 days a week.
Yes.
So quick, very
Quick.
fast-paced, very.
Yes.
What are the challenges with that?
You have so much going on in your mind, and the codes are complex, and it's trying not to make any mistakes, making sure that you're consistent with every single review.
Consistency, very, very important.
Yes.
Lisa, share with us some citizen input, some feedback from citizens and clients that you've worked with.
Well, the one that stands out the most is a fellow that I called to tell him that his permit was ready. And he kept questioning, he said, "Pardon me? Pardon me?" And then he said, "Let me get my wife, she may understand you." So he went and got his wife, and then I told her his permit is ready. And she went, "Oh my gosh." And so he was quite stunned.
Mark the calendar.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. And what do you remember how long that turnaround had been for them?
3 days.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
He was excited.
Yeah, very, very good. Lisa, what do you like best about these improvements? What's the best thing that's come out of that?
The consolidated review. It's an interdisciplinary where you have different skill sets coming to the table, working together. It's a consolidated review. It gives us more thorough reviews than we had before, and we get to coordinate with each other during the process.
So you're pretty much powwowing around a table if you need to, like right where we're at here?
Correct.
Lisa can ask questions, Trish can ask questions, somebody else in their expertise.
Yes.
Is it that everybody's looking at one plan at the same time?
No, we're not.
You're
Everybody's had their own set of plans that they're looking at, their own permit that they're looking at. But they'll just lean over and just ask a question or go over and ask a question really quick. And so you don't have to worry about going up and down the stairs or going and asking somebody or doing your review and setting it aside and not knowing where the permit is or where it is in the process.
Exactly.
So you're really involved in the process more holistically with the permit. Yes.
So the lean process for a very lean department has really worked out here in the Department of Community Development.
It has.
And Lisa, before she sat down, said she's ready to go through it again, although other people would like to have the opportunity.
Yes.
From your participation in that week, anything that was tugging at your brain that was saying, God, I wish I wasn't here, I've got so much work to do, I've
No.
got so much other stuff.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
It was well organized, and we kept moving, and it was very good. You were working.
And probably building team at the same time.
That's right.
You're all working towards the same goal and really improving the process for process improvement for permitting of residents.
And with the
awesome.
people that were there as well from the community that were involved. Really puts a face on the developers, which is really good. And we learned, and we really get that we're working together for the applicant.
Getting people into their homes.
That's right.
getting people into their homes. Lisa, thanks a lot. You
You're
added a
quite-
lot to our conversation. And we'll be right back. We're going to have a little bit of closure for our program and finish out with Jeff Rowe. Stay with us. We want to thank you for joining us around Kitsap today, and thanks for tuning in. Jeff, I want to really thank you for inviting us to come and see the department and hearing about the changes. Thanks for joining us.
And I want to thank you for this opportunity, and I want to remind everyone that Kitsap County is open for business.